After just 100 days, I can report to the nation, America is on the move again, turning peril into possibility, crisis to opportunity, setbacks into strength.
Thanks to Operation Warp Speed and the Trump administration, our country is flooded with safe and effective vaccines. Job openings are rebounding. So why do we feel so divided, anxious?
This will be the first time the response has upstaged the president. People are going to start talking tomorrow that Tim Scott should be running for president.
Let's bring in South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Good morning to you, Senator.
Ainsley, how are you?
I'm
Good to hear
doing
from
well.
a home state person.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. I know
Good.
that so many people in South Carolina just adore you and love your faith and your passion for this country. It was so
Thank you.
uplifting, so compassionate, and many people are talking now. Do you think you'll ever run for president?
Well, I've said it often that I'm not running for the presidency of my own homeowners association without much of a question, much less thinking about the highest office in the land. I do, however, want to be reelected as South Carolina's junior senator. What a blessing to live in a state where the possibility of redemption is real. And my life is a story of getting it wrong and then getting it right. So many American kids need to understand that this is a place, and you may be the person that can do the greatest things you've ever imagined.
I didn't get any grievance from you last night. I just had an explanation where you came from, where you are, and where you want the country to go. That's very different than what we're hearing a lot from the White House. Here's Kamala Harris, the vice president.
Senator Tim Scott said last night that America is not a racist country. Do you agree with that? And what do you make of his warning against fighting discrimination with more discrimination?
No, I don't think America is a racist country, but we also do have to speak truth about the history of racism in our country and its existence today. One of the greatest threats to our national security is domestic terrorism manifested by white supremacists. And so these are issues that we must confront, and it does not help to heal our country, to unify us as a people, to ignore the realities of that. We all have so much more in common than what separates us, and the idea is that we want to unify the country, but not without speaking truth.
Are you not speaking truth, Senator? What do you think of that?
Well, I'll just say that the response to my speech last night from the left was for me to mention that intolerance so often comes from the left, with words like Uncle Tim and the N-word being used against me by the left. And last night, what was trending in social media was Uncle Tim. Yeah. And they doubled down on this concept of liberal oppression. It is stunning in 2021 that those who speak about ending discrimination want to end it by more discrimination. You look at COVID package. The COVID package itself discriminated against white farmers. Why we had the Pigford settlements in the early 90s so that black farmers would be treated fairly by the federal government. Now we're going to reverse that and discriminate against white farmers? Did we not learn the lesson the first time around? And I'll just tell you that it has been an amazing morning with so many good people calling, but the left they have doubled down that they are going to not attack my policies, but they are literally attacking the color of my skin. You cannot step out of your lane according to the liberal elite left. And that's one of the reasons why you can help us by going to votetimscott.com. I am learning from Lindsey Graham without any question. And it is a fight. We are in for the fight of our nation.
Yeah. I was going to ask, what lane are you talking about? And also, how did it make you feel when you saw that topic trending on Twitter?
Well, you know, it was not upsetting, certainly, but it was so disappointing that those people who want to be respected and given the opportunity to live their lives any way they want to, they don't want the same thing for you and me, Steve. What they want for us is for us to stay in a little small corner and not go against the tide that they think is America. Their America and my America aren't the same America if, in fact, they think that discriminating is the fastest way to end discrimination. We have learned lessons from our past, and we should. racism and discrimination, it's still real, but it is being pushed further and further into a smaller corner in our nation. That's great news that we should celebrate the progress being made by black folks and white folks working together, by Hispanics and Asians coming together. If you want to be an American, the door is wide open. The front door, by the way, is wide open to come in and add value to who we are, not be a part of destructive conversations that belittle individuals. I will agree with the Vice President on one thing. The internal struggle that we see in our nation, oftentimes led by the left, is a problem we can solve together. The American family is bigger than that. We should act like it.
Is Black Lives Matter helping or hurting the coming together of the country?
The foundation of Black Lives Matter with a communist paradigm is problematic. There's no doubt that all lives matter, and specifically in the law enforcement conversation, of course the focus is on black lives versus what they've experienced. That's a healthy debate, but here's what's not healthy. It is not healthy for us to assume that every white officer is looking for a black person to violate their civil rights. It's not helpful for us to enter and engage in a conversation where reality is thrown out the window, that we have not made progress. All you have to do, Brian, is to look at the statistics from 2000, 2010, 2020, and you'll see a trend in the right direction, that actually we are getting healthier and better as it relates to these confrontations. Now, we're going to have more videos because we've been pushing body cameras, so we have more information to look at, and it's stunning sometimes. But the truth is we've had fewer incidents than we had 10 and 20 years ago. So we're moving in the right direction. Should we move faster? Of course we should. Are we moving pretty quickly in the right direction? I think so.
I know you wrote that bill to fund body cameras, and we are so grateful because now when there is a shooting, we're able to see the transparency from these police departments. And you said that the Democrats blocked the bill that you were trying to proposal you had for police reform after Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. And I understand you're meeting with George Floyd's family today. I'm sure they will appreciate that. What are you going to talk to them about?
Well, I had the good fortune with President Trump to meet with 20 family members, I believe it was, to discuss the tension in the relationship between law enforcement and some folks in the communities of color. What a healthy and a remarkable meeting. I wish we had cameras in there, then it would have been different. But I do wish we would have seen the empathy from President Trump towards the family, and the response, the respect from the family. What I hope to accomplish today is the same thing I accomplished after the Walter Scott shooting, is to sit down and listen to what the family wants to talk about, listen to the proposals, the suggestions that reinforces common sense, and then finally go back to the drawing board, taking all that information to heart, and do two things. Number one, in order for our most vulnerable communities to have character-driven officers, we can't demonize law enforcement looking for a goal, looking for a solution. I won't cross that line. It is a line that is bad for the community and bad for officers. Second thing, though, we can find common ground on other parts of the legislation.
Senator, let's go back 6 days. The Washington Post had this headline: Tim Scott often talks about his grandfather and cotton. There's more to that tale. What exactly was the fact checker trying to check regarding your personal history? He, for some reason, thought that an African-American man born in 1921 would never have picked cotton, that the fact that his grandfather owned land meant that we were privileged. Why my mother grew up on the projects in public housing with all that privilege, I have no idea. But here's what he was really trying to do. He was trying to discredit my story. He was trying to discredit my grandfather and my mother and myself for one reason, because it doesn't fit the narrative that in America it's impossible for people who look like me to rise to this position. The truth is, we have so many, hundreds of thousands of examples of people of all colors, specifically African Americans, who beat the odds by education, and a strong work ethic. It's still true today, and it's why I'm sitting here. God has blessed me to live in America. He also blessed me with a strong, powerful mother, and then opportunities that oftentimes came from people who didn't look like me. That's what makes America the most remarkable country in the world. We go from the inside out, not the outside in.
Senator Tim Scott, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Great job last night.
Yeah, and #1 draft pick. Tonight's the draft. Trevor Lawrence from Clemson, from the great state of South Carolina.
Right.
Senator, thanks for being on with us.
Yes, hopefully the Cowboys will trade up and get him, by the way.
No, they got a quarterback. They're married to him forever. All right. Thanks, Senator.
I know we are. Have a good day. Take care.
Thank you.